They're not weekend camping. This is not fall vacation. They're stealing, living on public lands on the taxpayer's dime.
It's definitely an issue from a land management standpoint.
But Cammie Magoon doesn't see it that way. She's taking advantage of what is legally allowed.
The price of rent, it's expensive. It's really difficult being on Social Security to be able to afford anything. I make $750 a month for Social Security.
Priced out of an apartment, she turned to the internet for help, asking anyone for advice.
A lady said that there's places up here that it's free, they don't charge you, you can stay for a certain amount of time.
Magoon is talking about public lands where you can stay for a limited amount of time. This is Bureau of Land Management space north of Sun Valley, where people can stay up to 14 days. Then they have to move at least 25 miles away. Over the past year and a half, BLM rangers have seen an increase in these so-called Boondockers, who are working the system to stay for free.
We'll have people that will come down here in the Carson area, and they'll stay here for 14 days. They go to Sun Valley, they stay up there for 14 days, and then they come back down. And they just bounce all over the place.
They aren't necessarily people who have been homeless for years. They're people from all walks of life, even families with kids.
It's temporary. As soon as I get a job, I'm going to try to find a place.
Tyler putters his '97 Honda Civic up in the Dusty Hills for free living.
I usually set up a tent, camp, sometimes sleep in the car if I get out here late.
And when some people move out, they leave their mess behind. Personal effects like pillows, clothing, there's some slippers right here, and trash. Rangers aren't too happy that when they move out, they leave this stuff behind. It costs us taxpayers money to haul this stuff out of here and clean it up. Rangers say they leave their trash behind, dump human waste, and trample the land. If BLM chases them off public land, some of those RVs and campers sputter into town. They park around the side streets in Reno and Sparks. This RV has been sitting here for weeks, and others find lakefront living at Virginia Lake.
This is a Southwind, and it's a 1978.
Steve Joseph is living in the parking lot at a Sparks casino.
It's better than living under somebody else's roof, and it's very enjoyable. I can pick up and go wherever I want.
He and two other buddies have been living here for about 2 decades. Their older RVs aren't always welcome at the mobile home parks.
Don't have to walk all over the place to find what you want.
His neighbor, Joe Dean, said he doesn't want to risk parking on the street.
I think it stinks because it can ruin. There's a lot of disabled veterans like myself that live in RVs, and it could ruin their life if they got arrested and their RV towed.
Sparks police will cite an RV if it sits longer than 48 hours. But in Reno, it's a public nuisance if people live in an RV or trailers, even overnight.
They stand out.
Police work with code enforcement.
This year, we haven't had to cite anyone, but we do issue citations if necessary. And these citations, they start at $100. They're civil citations, and they go up to $1,000.
BLM managers are also cracking down on squatters who overstay their 14-day welcome. They'll write citations, move them off the land, but they say they'd rather offer them help with their basic services like food, health care, and heat. In Washoe County, Kim Burrows reporting.